Hey guys, welcome to Chemistry Fun. Today we're going to be dealing with the atomic structure, and as an example we're going to take neon. So this is basically the atomic structure of the element neon. This is what you call an electron. It has a negative charge. Basically it's the negative charge of the atom. It moves around the nucleus. This is the nucleus, and basically consists of the volume of the atom. So you can see the nucleus is really small compared to the big place the electrons taken from the atomic structure. It also has a very low mass, and that is why we do not take into account its mass when we calculate the mass of the atom. This right here is the nucleus. It's small, dense, and basically consists of the mass of the atom. It's in the nucleus there are protons and neutrons. Protons, as I wrote right here, are in the nucleus. They're half of the mass of the atom, almost all the time, and they're the positive charge of the atom. Whereas neutrons, they hold the nucleus together. Basically, they hold the protons together because all the positives are gonna, because of repulsion, they're gonna push away from each other, and the neutrons hold them together. And that is why they have no charge. So the overall atom is neutral because the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. So that's basically it for the atomic structure, and this is the atomic structure of neon. On the first shell on the first electron shell, you can only put 2 electrons, and then on each one after that you can put up to 8 electrons. And right here, neon takes up 10 electrons, and as you can see, it's 2 on the first and 8 on the second. It fills up nicely both shells, and that is why neon is a noble gas, because it fills up both its shells. So now let's take a look on how to know the number of protons, electrons, and neutrons from, firstly we're going to do from the periodic table, and then from the element configuration, which is this. So if we look at the periodic table, if we take a periodic table, this is what neon would look like. This right here is the atomic number, and it is also equal to the number of protons. So that means you have 10 protons in neon and 10 electrons in neon, because the number of electrons is equal to the number of protons. So now neon, Ne is the symbol from the element symbol for neon, and 20.16 is the average mass of atoms. Why is it the average mass? Because, as I'm going to explain in another video, isotopes of different molecules exist. So basically atoms can exist. This atom can have a mass of 21, or a mass of 22, or a mass of 23, or a mass of 20. And that is what is called an isotope, which I'm going to explain in further detail in another video. That's besides the point. So how to get the number of protons from the average mass and the atomic number. Basically what you do is you subtract the atomic number from the mass, and you will get 10. So you will have 10 neutrons in neon. Now if you look at the element configuration, the X, this is the element name, the A is the mass of the element, and Z is the atomic number. So this is a different configuration, and this is what neon would look like. Now in some textbooks the 10 disappears because basically it's just extra information, and you wouldn't add it because everybody knows that neon's atomic number is 10. That is why sometimes the 10 doesn't appear, but keep in mind that it's always there. It should be there. And right here is, if you have the electron configuration of an ion, you would put the ion charge, as I write here. So basically it's the same calculation, and you get 10 protons, 10 electrons, and 10 neutrons. So now let's take a look at some examples from here. So I said magnesium. So magnesium, its mass is 24, and its atomic number is 12. So it has 12 protons, 12 electrons, because the number of protons and the number of electrons is equal. And then if you subtract 12 from 24, you get 12 neutrons. So that is the number of protons, electrons, and neutrons. Now, this is a second example. It's bromine. The atomic mass is 80. The atomic number is 35. So you have 35 protons, 35 electrons, and 45 neutrons. Now, how did I get 45? Is I subtracted 35 from 80, and it gave me 45. Now, let's try it with from the periodic table. So this is phosphorus. So phosphorus, its atomic number is 15. Its mass is 30.97. So what we're going to do is we're going to round it up to 30. So the number of protons is 15, the number of electrons is 15, and the number of neutrons is 15. Now let's try for krypton. Krypton is number 36. Its mass is 83.8. We are going to round it up to 84. And basically its number of protons is 36. Its number of electrons, the same thing, 36. And number of neutrons is 48. Now let's try it with ions. With ions it's different because ions usually don't have the same number of electrons as they should have, because they're ions. They gave their electrons, or they took electrons from another element, which I'm going to explain in another video. So as we look at N3 minus, so N3 minus, its atomic number is 7, its mass is 14. So the number of protons is 7. Now, since it's minus 3, that means it got 3 electrons from another element, which makes it 10 electrons. And it has 7 neutrons because when you subtract 7 from 14, it gives you 7. Now let's try another one. Fluorine. Fluorine minus. So basically the number of protons is the atomic number, 9 protons. And how many electrons? It's 10, because it got 1 electron from another element. And the number of neutrons is 10, because when you subtract 9 from 19, you get 10. Now let's try positive ions. So this is sodium. The number of protons is 11. The number of electrons is 10. Why is it 10? Because when it's a positive ion, that means it gave electrons away in order to reach the state, because it wants to reach the state of a noble gas. So basically what it did is it went, I'm going to give 1 electron away and I'm going to reach the state of a noble gas. So that's why it only has 10 electrons. And it has 12 neutrons, because when you subtract 11 from 23, you get 12. And the last one is oxygen. So oxygen ion is 2 minus. The number of protons is 8 protons. It got 2 electrons from another element, which means 10 electrons, and 8 neutrons, because you subtracted 8 from 16 and it gave you 8 neutrons. So this is it for this video. Make sure to check out my next video, which is going to be about isotopes, and subscribe. Thanks a lot.